Hi Scorpio, this is Lisa from Soul Searcher Tarot, and I'm here to do your April mid-month reading, 2019. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for popping in and giving me a look. I really do appreciate it. If you've been here before, I really appreciate the support. Okay, if you guys like the reading, you can give me a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, a share. You can write me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I have already meditated on your energies. I just want to shuffle it up a little bit more and then we'll get started. How's everybody doing? I'm keeping that. I want to be there. Start out with the Ace of Cups. Okay. So I hope everybody's doing good. And let's see what kind of story we can tell. Okay. The Ace of Cups fell out just as I was finishing shuffling, so I decided we're going to keep that one. Okay. That is... It's like a whole new cup of emotions. You're getting new feelings about either a situation or people, or a situation and people. Okay, so just a big old cup of emotions right there for you. All right, but then you have the Ace of Pentacles, and that one came up in reverse. And this is, you're like, you lost an opportunity. You missed an opportunity. All right, so something like slipped by and you weren't able to catch it. All right. Now we do have the Five of Cups. And now this is, he's got like disappointment. And there's a feeling of loss. Because you can see how he had those Five Cups. Those three got tipped over somehow. And he only has these two, but he's not paying any attention to those two. And you got to not focus so much on the three kicked over cups. You really need to focus on the two ones. What is that old adage? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That's so old and just came into my head. But yeah, I mean, be thankful for what you have, acknowledge what you have, and go about trying to replace those. All right. Okay, now you have the Judgment card. And Judgment is reaping what you sowed. So it's kind of, there might be a situation where if you acted poorly in a situation, it's probably going to come back and get you, kind of like bite you in the butt. Or somebody else acted poorly and you might be judging them. Let's see. Okay, then we have the Sun in reverse. Excuse me. Sorry. The Sun in reverse, and that is the energy of being disappointed, being unhappy, maybe a little bit of depression when it's upside down like that. So I want to figure out why. All right, then you have the Three of Pentacles, and that came up reverse also. And when it's in the reverse, it is like lack of teamwork and competition, and you're having like a group conflict. All right, and the Five of Wands. That one came up in reverse also. And now the Five of Wands in reverse is you not wanting to fight. You like don't want to, you're avoiding conflict. You're trying to respect others' differences. So to me, this feels like this was something that was going on where the collaboration and teamwork were not working out. Is it possible? It could be like maybe at work. All right, or it could be in your social life, but they actually feel more like work. But you're trying not to get into these fights and this conflict. You're just trying to respect everybody and what their opinions are. And then you got the Ten of Wands. And now this is you. And you are really kind of pushing forward. And you feel like you're doing most of the work. And you're feeling like kind of you're kind of having a hard time prioritizing a situation, all right? You can't really delegate it. So maybe you're supposed to be delegating in your job. Like maybe you have people that work under you and you're supposed to be delegating and letting them know what they need to do. And it's not working out like that because there's so much of this teamwork, non-teamwork. And you don't want to get into any kind of confrontations. You're not trying to fight. So you're just doing the work yourself. Like, just like, I come around, let me just take care of this and I'll do this. But that means you're taking on all the extra work, and that's not what the job is supposed to be. All right, now you got the Fool. And the Fool came out in reverse also. And when he's in reverse, he is very easily taken advantage of. This is so much like somebody else's reading. Like Taurus's reading. This is very close to Taurus's reading. And the Fool, it could be taken advantage of. He could be kind of reckless sometimes. So he's not really going on a new journey, but it is a new journey, but has to be very careful. So you're going to have to be really careful what's coming up next. Make sure you're not getting yourself taken advantage of. Okay. We do have the Queen of Swords. Now she's got an energy of, she's not using her feelings. She's using totally her logic and her mind. So she's not bringing her heart into this at all. And this might be the energy that you're taking on because you don't want, something, if you're in a work situation and you work with these people for a long time, and if you're like a full-time person, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, you don't want to have conflicts. You don't want to have fights. But if you're having a situation where they're going to take advantage of you because, you want to keep them all on the friendship. You want to keep them all as friends. You don't want to have anybody not like you. Then you need to have this kind of energy because she's not going to use her heart. She's total about logic. She's all about her mind and her logic, and she's not going to let anybody get over on her with emotions. So you do feel a little bit like you're left out in the cold, so it's possibly you're feeling insecure and a little needy. So I don't know if this is still a job, or maybe it's just not going the way you had expected it to. Okay, then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now this is the end of a cycle, and if your fortunes were good, your fortune is going constantly around. You're not always going to be on the top or on the bottom. You could do the middle ground. So whatever your fortune may be is as you perceive it. So this could be possibly a change in your fortune coming as the end of the cycle. So let's see if we can clarify some of these cards, because I do really think it's a work situation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Maybe you had a lot of hopes and, maybe you had a job and you had a lot of hopes wrapped up in this and you were feeling really good about it and you got along with the people when you first started there and things were going really nice. But something happened with your Ace of Pentacles and you kind of lost an opportunity or you missed something. So something with an opportunity was missed. And when the Five of Cups came up, you felt at a loss. You actually felt like you lost something. So again, that's something with the job, not necessarily the job, but something that went down in the job arena. It feels like, anyway, that you've lost something. So you went from having this full cup of emotions and happy feelings into feeling lost about something and then casting judgment. And I'm thinking you might have been judging your coworkers or your supervisor or people that you were working with. Or it's possible they were judging you. Because it's general reading, so it could go either way. But there was judgment being happened to you. There was judgment happening. And it affected you in a way that you were unhappy and you felt kind of depressed. And you didn't really know what to do with this. You didn't have any joy. And then you had this lack of teamwork, lack of collaboration. So whatever the situation was, you weren't working well with these people. So maybe you had the thoughts and the feelings that you were going to be able to work well with them, but it wasn't happening. You were trying to avoid the conflict in the situation. It was just like, whatever, I respect your opinion and let's just move on from it. And then you started doing all the work. Like you started being the one taking on all the extra burden, all the extra work, and having to put in so much more than everybody else. Okay, then you're Fool in the reverse. As I said, he could be taken advantage of. And that's very possible if you were already being taken advantage of, if you were doing all the work. And everybody else is going to get the kudos for it too. And you did it all? No. That's being taken advantage of, really. So I think you had to come out and be like, no. And you had to bring in this whole new energy to say, all right, I don't care, you like me, you don't like me, I'm not going to do all this work for you, all right? So you still felt a little bit about it. You still felt left out of the cold, because now if you made that stand to those people, whether they be coworkers or, somebody in your environment, friends, or then you made that stand, so you're feeling like a little bit left out. But it would be the end of the cycle. So hopefully that cycle has ended. But let's see if we can clarify a couple of these cards. Can you, Spirit, please clarify the Five of Pentacles for me? Sorry. Five of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Spirit, why is the Five of Pentacles here? Spirit, why is the Five of Pentacles here? Why does Scorpio feel left out in the cold? Okay, well, the Ace of Wands came up. And this to me feels like you have an inspiration and a desire to create something. So maybe what you were doing with doing all this work and avoiding conflict, you decided to create something on your own. Maybe you're doing a project and you're gonna take it on yourself, that because you couldn't get them to do any of it anyway, so there was no point. You might as well just do it. Or just maybe you're creating a different feeling for the job now. Like you just kind of, if they were going to be that kind of people, you were like, you know what, I don't need you. It's an old thing my dad used to say, I'm washing my hands, I close the book. Don't need you. Don't need you, I'm going to move on. So it's possible that you're going to take on your creation on your own. Let's see if I could clarify the Fool in reverse. Why is the Fool in reverse? Are you able to tell me the Fool and why it's in reverse? Okay. Well, the Five of Swords came up. And the Five of Swords is like, it's a battle. It's a battle in a sense. It's like win at all costs. You're not, you have a lot of ambition and you're feeling strong. So I'm thinking, if you got the Five of Swords on top of your reverse Fool, and then you got the Queen of Swords right next to it, that is what's giving you the strength to be able to, push ahead and say, no, all right, I'm not going to feel out in the cold anymore. I'm going to do my own thing, all right, and I'm going to make something happen for me. All right, let's see if is there any other messages for Scorpio for April, mid-month for 2019? Any other messages for Scorpio? Mid-month, April 2019. Any other messages? Okay. I got stuff falling out all over the place. Okay. All right. We got the Nine of Wands. That came up, and that is resilience and pushing forward, and you're on the last stretch. And then the Three of Swords was in reverse, and this is you're not feeling that heartbreak anymore, or you're not that sad about the situation. You're recovering. You're moving on, and you've decided to forgive or forget the whole situation, and that's why your cycle's ending, because you're able to make it end, because you're putting out best energies for yourself. So we figured you had the big cup of, you were very hopeful. You were going to be, in a good situation. But then things went awry and you started to feel at loss. A judgment was made either against you or you judged somebody else. You were unhappy. There was no teamwork or collaboration. You didn't want to get into a fight, so you just started doing all the work yourself. You felt like you were being taken advantage of, so you decided to take on this Three of Swords. And, I'm sorry, no, that's the Five of Swords. And you ended up having that win at all cost feeling about you with the Queen of Swords energy, because she's not using her heart, she's just using her head and her logic. You were still feeling kind of left out in the cold, but then you decided that you were going to make it a new beginning for yourself. And then your cycle ended, and the cycle was able to end because you don't feel sad anymore, and you are resilient and you're pushing through. So I hope this resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's understandable too. General is not going to resonate with everybody, but that pretty much sums up your half of April. If you liked the reading, if it resonated, could you give me a thumbs up, a like, a share? If you want to write me a comment, I would love to hear from you. And I will be seeing you in May. Take care.